Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're officially deep in the weeds of the 2026 Winter Games right now.
We really are.
We're talking about week 8, so that covers days 7 through 11. And I've been looking through the stack of source material you sent over, and honestly, the vibe has really shifted.
Oh, completely.
The opening ceremony glitter is just gone. Now it feels like we're in the trenches.
That's the perfect way to describe it, actually. In the Olympic world, this is what we call the attrition phase.
The attrition phase.
Yeah. The adrenaline from the first week has completely worn off. The injuries are starting to pile up. And, the weather patterns in the mountains usually start playing mind games with the athletes. It's just a grind.
It sounds exhausting just talking about it, to be honest. But looking at the sources, this wasn't just about survival. We have a very specific mission for this deep dive today.
Right.
We're filtering out the noise and focusing exclusively on the women's competitions from February 13th to the 17th.
Exactly. We're stripping away the overall medal counts and the anthems for a second just to look at the pure human performance. We're going to go sport by sport.
And we have a lot to cover.
We really do. We have speed skating records, some really bizarre statistical anomalies up in the mountains, and a greatest of all time story that I think is going to make a lot of listeners rethink what's physically possible.
I cannot wait to get to that last one.
Yeah.
But if there is a theme connecting these 5 days, what would you say it is?
I'd say it's the tension between the new guard and the legends.
Okay.
We saw teenagers doing things that basically defy gravity, and we saw veteran zones specifically just rewriting the rule book on age. It's really about resilience versus raw explosion.
Okay, let's start with that raw explosion.
Okay.
We are heading to the ice oval for speed skating, specifically the 500-meter sprint.
The 500-meter, it's basically the drag race of the Olympics. One lap, no strategy, just pure violent speed.
And the name on everyone's lips in the sources is Femke Kok from the Netherlands.
She was absolutely undeniable. In the 500, the race is usually won or lost in the first 100 meters.
Right.
If you don't explode off that starting line, you simply cannot make it up later. And Femke Kok's opener was blistering. She didn't just win gold, she set an Olympic record.
Which is wild to think about. That means she skated faster than any woman in the history of the Games on that specific track. And for her, this is a massive breakthrough.
Huge. This is her very first Olympic gold. And you have to understand the context here. Speed skating in the Netherlands is like football in Texas.
The pressure.
The pressure is suffocating. So for Kok to deliver a record-breaking performance under that kind of weight shows incredible mental fortitude.
The Dutch dominance was on full display across the board, actually. Jutta Leerdam took silver, making it a 1-2 finish for the Netherlands. That has to be so demoralizing for everyone else.
It's the orange wall. When you see those Dutch suits line up, you kind of know you're fighting for third place. But speaking of third place, we really have to talk about the bronze medalist, Miho Takagi from Japan.
The collector.
She is inevitable. Takagi is one of those athletes who just quietly accumulates hardware. She might not always have the rawest explosion off the line like Tokuk, but her technique, her ability to hold speed through the corners is arguably the best in the world.
And this bronze just adds to her massive career tally.
Exactly. It cements her GOAT status.
So that was the individual sprint. But day 11 gave us something a bit more collaborative, the women's team pursuit.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite events to watch because it's like a high-speed chess match. You have 3 skaters moving as a single unit.
And Team Canada really showed up here. Ivani Blondin, Valerie Maltese, and Isabelle Weidman.
The defending champions. And defending a team pursuit title is incredibly rare because it requires 3 people to stay in perfect sync for 4 entire years.
The source analysis mentioned their, quote, superior pace and teamwork. But how does that actually work on the ice? Is it just about all of them skating fast?
No, it's about aerodynamics and trust. Think of it like a cycling peloton. The skater in the front is breaking the wind, so she's working about 30% harder than the 2 behind her.
Oh, wow.
Right. So the key is the transition. When the leader peels off to go to the back to rest, if that switch is clumsy at all, you lose all your momentum. Canada's transitions were completely seamless. They moved like one organism.
And they beat the Dutch doing it.
They did. They beat the Netherlands, who took silver, and Japan took bronze. By taking down those 2 absolute powerhouses, Canada really cemented themselves as the premier squad in this discipline. They aren't just fast individuals, they are the best team.
Okay, let's trade the ice for the snow. We're heading up to the mountains for alpine skiing and biathlon. And the Italians, they must be having the time of their lives right now.
Oh, the home crowd energy is massive.
In the women's giant slalom, Federica Brignone took gold.
Her second gold of these games, actually.
Yeah. Which brings up a question. Winning on home soil. We always hear about the home court advantage in sports like basketball. But in skiing, does the pressure usually help or hurt?
Statistically, it often hurts.
Really?
Yeah, the expectations can make you stiffen up, and in skiing, if you're stiff, you're slow. You need to be fluid. But Brignon just seems to feed off the noise. Giant slalom is a rhythm event. It's fast, but it's highly technical. She found a flow state that literally no one else could match.
She was incredible. But as good as she was, I have to stop you here because I saw something in the results for the silver medal that I legitimately thought was a typo.
I know exactly what you're looking at, the tie.
Yes, Sarah Hector from Sweden and Thea-Louise Stjernesen from Norway. They tied for silver.
Down to the exact hundredth of a second.
That blows my mind. You ski down a massive mountain, hitting gates, dealing with wind, ice patches, ruts in the snow, and you finish at the exact same tick of the clock.
It's a complete statistical anomaly. Usually the clock is ruthless in alpine skiing. Someone is faster by a fingernail. For Hector and Stjernesen to share that step of the podium is something they'll be talking about for the rest of their lives. It's just a glitch in the matrix.
I love it. Just here, you both get one.
Exactly.
Okay, staying in the mountains, let's look at biathlon, the 10-kilometer pursuit.
This is arguably the most tactical event in the sport. You start based on your finish time from the previous race, so it is quite literally a chase.
And once again, cue the Italian anthem. Lisa Vitozzi takes gold.
Vitozzi was a surgeon out there. In the pursuit, the race is always decided on the shooting range. The reports emphasize that her shooting was flawless.
For the listener who might just tune in every 4 years, can you explain why shooting clean in the pursuit is such a big deal?
Okay, so imagine sprinting up 5 flights of stairs until your heart rate is 180 beats per minute. Then immediately stop, pick up a rifle, and try to hit a target the size of a golf ball from 50 meters away.
Sounds impossible.
It basically is. And if you miss, you have to ski a penalty loop, which takes about 25 seconds. Vitozzi didn't miss, that's how you win.
She held off Maren Kirkeide of Norway for the win. But looking at the podium, the bronze medalist is actually the big surprise here.
Suvi Minkinen from Finland.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't talked about Finland much in women's biathlon.
We haven't, and that's why this matters so much. Finland is a winter sports nation, obviously. They're great at hockey, cross-country. But in women's biathlon, they've always been overshadowed by the giants, like Norway, Germany, and France.
So this is a big deal for them.
Massive. For Minkinen to break through and grab a medal here is a huge signal. It proves their program is catching up to the heavy hitters.
I always love seeing new flags on the podium. Okay, let's come back down to sea level, or at least indoors. Figure skating. We are right in the middle of the drama.
We are. The women's short program wrapped up on day 7. This sets the starting order for the free skate, so it's basically a massive status check.
And who is passing the test?
It's a Japanese masterclass right now. Ami Nakai and Kaori Sakamoto are sitting 1 and 2.
Sakamoto is just so powerful on the ice.
She is. Her skating has this quality where she generates so much speed without looking like she's even trying. But, don't count out the USA yet. Alyssa Liu is sitting close behind. She put down a really resilient program and is absolutely in medal contention.
However, we do have to talk about the low of the week.
Yeah.
The heartbreak.
Yeah, this was really tough. Amber Glenn from Team USA.
The source material mentions a technical mistake causing a fall in the standings. Why is a mistake in the short program so much worse than in the free skate?
It's just the math. The short program has very specific required elements. If you miss a combination jump, say you fall or you pop the rotation, you don't just lose the points for that jump, you get a mandatory deduction, and your grade of execution scores just tank across the board.
So it's a compounding penalty.
Exactly. In the long program, you have 4 minutes to improvise, throw in another jump, and make up points. In the short program, there is nowhere to hide.
So one slip basically ruins the whole week.
It can ruin 4 years of training. That mistake pushed Glenn way outside the top positions. It's a brutal reminder of just how high the stakes are in this sport.
Speaking of brutal stakes, let's talk snowboarding. The weather was basically the main character this week, wasn't it?
The weather was the villain. We saw delays pushing the women's slopestyle finals back, which is just psychological torture for the athletes.
But we did get the big air final.
Yeah.
And we had a Canadian soaring high.
Megan Oldham. She takes the gold.
And she beat Eileen Gu.
She did. And beating Eileen Gu is the snowboarding equivalent of beating LeBron James.
Wow.
Gu took silver, and Flora Tabanelli from Italy took bronze. But for Oldham, this was all about technical progression. She was landing tricks with amplitude and cleanliness that the judges just couldn't deny.
But while Oldham was celebrating, we had another really low point in the snowboarding world, Mathilde Grimmaud.
This was heartbreaking. She's a favorite for the slopestyle title, but she crashed in practice right before the Big R final.
The report says a big hip contusion. I mean, that sounds painful, but is it a deal breaker?
In normal life, a bruise is an annoyance. In elite snowboarding, a deep hip contusion means your muscles literally shut down. You cannot ride.
Oh, man.
She had to withdraw. It's just a sobering reminder that these athletes are throwing themselves off 60-foot jumps. You are always one bad landing away from going home.
And that context of injury and the weather makes what Zoe Sadowski-Synnott from New Zealand is doing even more impressive, right? Waiting out the delays.
Exactly. She had to manage a defensive campaign, trying to stay warm, stay focused, and not let the sheer frustration of the delays eat up all her energy before she even strapped into her board.
Like you shift gears to the team sports. Ice hockey and curling. We're getting toward the pointy end of the tournament now.
This is where the brackets really start to solidify. In ice hockey, Team USA is looking scary good.
The word dominant was in bold in the notes. Is it just one superstar carrying the team?
That's the thing, it's not. If you're an opposing coach, you can usually figure out a way to shut down one star line. But the analysis emphasizes their scoring depth.
Meaning the whole bench is a threat.
Exactly. It's the second line, the third line. Everyone is dangerous. They're routing opponents and securing their spot in the medal rounds with total ease.
And then in curling, it feels a little more desperate.
It's crunch time in the round robin. You cannot afford losses right now.
We saw Rachel Homan's rink from Canada pull off a big win.
A vital victory. They absolutely needed that to keep their semifinal hopes alive. And Team USA also had a massive bounce-back win over Denmark.
So both North American teams are basically fighting for their lives.
Pretty much every single stone matters at this point. One bad end, and you're packing your bags.
Okay. We promised the listener we'd save the biggest story for last. And honestly, this is the one that gave me actual goosebumps when I read the brief.
The GOT story.
We are talking about women's monobob. First, for the uninitiated, remind us what monobob actually is.
Monobob is exactly what it sounds like. Solo bobsleigh.
Just one person.
Right. In the two-woman event, you have a pilot and a brakewoman. One pushes, the other drives. In monobob, you do it all. You push a 360-pound sled off the line, you jump in, and you drive it down an ice chute at 80 miles per hour all by yourself.
It sounds physically exhausting.
It is the ultimate test of an individual slider.
Enter Alana Meyers Taylor from Team USA.
A total legend of the sport.
She is 41 years old.
41.
And she just won gold.
It is almost impossible to overstate this achievement. Alana Meyers Taylor has been to 5 Olympics. She has won 5 medals before this, silvers and bronzes. She has been the most consistent pilot of her generation, but she had never won gold.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
She's so famous in this sport, I just assumed she had a gold medal sitting in a sock drawer somewhere.
Nope, she's been chasing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And consider the biology here. Bobsled is a power sport. It requires explosive, fast-twitch muscle fibers to get that incredibly heavy sled moving. Those are the first things to go as you age. At 41, she is competing against women who are literally half her age.
And she's a mother.
Yes, a mother of 2. She has balanced elite training with motherhood, and she's been a massive advocate for diversity in the sport her whole career. To come out in 2026 and finally get that gold, it ties the record for the most Winter Olympic medals by a U.S. woman with 6.
So she beat Lauren Olt from Germany.
And her own teammate.
Right. Kelly Humphreys took bronze. So she beat these powerhouses. But seeing Alana stand on top of that podium, knowing it's probably her last games.
It's the definition of resilience. It's the perfect capstone to a Hall of Fame career.
So let's try to pull this all together. We've covered a lot of ground today. We saw Femke Koch, the young speed skater, winning her first gold. We saw Megan Oldham progressing the sport of snowboarding. And then we have Alana Meyers Taylor winning at 41.
It creates a really fascinating contrast. In sports, we are usually so obsessed with the next big thing. We look for the 15-year-old prodigies. But week 8 of these games prove that performance isn't just about youth.
It really challenges the idea of an athlete's prime, doesn't it?
It does. We usually think of a prime as a physical window, maybe age 24 to 28. But maybe we completely undervalue the mental prime.
Hmm.
Alana Meyers Taylor has driven thousands of runs. She knows every curve of every track in the world. Her experience allowed her to execute when the pressure was highest in a way a younger athlete might not have been able to handle.
That is the exact thought I want to leave you with today.
Mhm.
In a world that fetishizes youth, does Alana Meyers Taylor's victory prove that your true prime happens simply when you refuse to quit?
It's a pretty comforting thought for all of us, isn't it?
Absolutely. The finals are coming up next. If Week 8 was this intense, the medal rounds are going to be historic. Go watch the bobsleigh replays if you haven't, wipe your tears, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then.